Alright, Hairball. This is the big day. These are the big days. 1,500 miles. I know you can do it. You can do it. So, spoiler alert, we made it. It was a very interesting 3 days on the road though. You might be wondering why I was talking to Hairball, why I was cheering him up, and the reason is because 2 days before this trip, this happened. It's probably not good. Probably not good. The engine light turned on, which according to the manual is not a big deal, but you know, it's not the best thing to happen before a 3-day long, 1,500 mile long trip. So I decided to bring the car somewhere to get it checked out. It's about my car that I left there, the Jeep.
What was your name? Adrian?
Yes.
Adrian? Okay, yes, we called and left a message your old dad to come grab it. And then we'll go over what they told you, okay?
Okay, cool. I'll be there soon. Thank you. All right, so looks like kind of good news, at least for this trip, because the code that the car is giving is something related to emissions or something like that. So they told me that as long as it drives just fine and as I don't notice anything different about that, I should be good. That's right. I was told that if it was driving fine, I should be good to go. That's what I did. I hit the road. On top of that engine light, I had the window that was broken. The rear window keeps hitting your head. The emergency brake just doesn't really work. You might notice in some of the clips in this video that it's making a really weird noise when you turn left or when you are backing up. Among many other things, like this really frightening report that we had gotten in Portland a few weeks before when we were there. There are notes and kind of warnings everywhere for things that we have to do in the future. So yeah, it was in those conditions that I started to head back here, to head back home, to head back to Indiana. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I'm not looking forward to these next 3 days. They're gonna be very long, a lot of driving, but it needs to be done. This is the price we have to pay, right? Come on, let's do this. Let me stop you right there. Gotta move. You see that backpack there on the passenger seat? That's how I usually travel. I always have my camera bag on the passenger seat open with all my cameras available. So if I need to, if I see something, I can just stop really quick, safely, and take a photo. So when I said that I started to head back home, I really meant it. It was starting to head back because this is a very big country. I was more than 1,500 miles away from here, and that it came out at more than 23 hours of driving. So I had to split the drive in 3 days. Just stretching my legs here in Colorado. There's like a helicopter there, so I'm gonna take a couple pictures too. It's always a good time to take pictures, always. So I should be about to go through the mountains, through the Rockies. Should be a fun drive, pretty drive. I'm gonna move this part of the drive to a small window up here because the road was really windy and I don't want you to get sick just by looking at it. But yeah, I was really excited to come back home and to see my family and friends here. It had been a while, 3 months on the road, almost 1 whole month by myself, alone. There were many hotels, Airbnbs, campgrounds, even backpacking. I was ready to come back to a familiar bed, to a familiar kitchen, bathroom, to go back to a routine. It was an awesome trip though, and I knew I was going to miss being out there as soon as I got here, and that's exactly what happened. I can't wait to get out there again and to hit the road. It is cold in here. Pretty cool. This is nice, very nice. It was a pretty cool drive through the mountains, but man, very rough road. I think it's the roughest interstate I've ever been on. Lots of potholes and just very bad condition in general, which is awesome for Hairball. Awesome. Good job today, man. Good job. Colorado has some of the craziest traffic, man. This is the side of my photography that you don't usually get to see in this channel. You see, in the videos from this road trip, I was showing you just the best images and just the best clips of the places that I got to see. But now that the days are getting shorter and shorter, most of my time was spent like this, in a hotel room by myself alone. I think this was obvious, but just in case, I wanted to make clear that not every morning of my life I get to witness a beautiful sunrise at a beautiful place, and not every night I get to see a beautiful sunset. This is a drive for tomorrow from Denver to Omaha, Nebraska. Not bad, not bad. I'm leaving pretty early today. Okay, Hairball, 17 hours to go. 1,100 miles. I believe in you. I believe in you. I know, it looks brighter than it should because it's still pretty early. It's 6 in the morning. I wanted to leave earlier today because I lose 1 hour. I changed time zones today. I'm going from mountain to central, and I want to get there at a decent time. As I said, this is a very big country. I believe that it has up to 6 time zones. On this road trip, I went through 4 of them. And that is very cool when you're driving west because you gain time going in that direction, so you have more daylight, more daytime to drive. But that is the opposite when you are driving east like I was doing here. So I think that barely 9 hours of daylight. I had to fit 8-9 hour drives during that window. I try to avoid at night as much as I can on these kind of trips because I'm already very tired. I don't want the darkness to make me even more tired. But man, the roads here in Colorado are pretty awful. I hit a very bad pothole and the car really made a really weird and loud noise for a couple minutes. Now it's not making any noise and I'm almost afraid of looking down here. Doesn't seem to be missing any pieces and it's not leaking anything. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing this whole trip, that is just closing my eyes and just keep going. I really like the interstate system here in the US. Roads are usually in worse condition than the ones that you can find in Europe, but they are mostly free. And that, along with very affordable gas, makes driving something that many people can afford. In Europe, it's almost like a luxury. It was almost a year ago when I drove all the way from northwestern Spain to Germany just to go through France. I had to pay almost 150 euros on tolls alone. On this recent road trip, 1500 miles, 3 months on the road, you know how much I had to pay on tolls? 0. These are some of the receipts that I got at gas stations all across the country, from Utah to Nevada, Oregon, California, everywhere. These in Europe would have been thousands of euros. So this was the most I paid for gas in the whole road trip, and it was of course in Death Valley, and I paid $3.60 for a gallon of gas. The cheapest was in Omaha at $1.89 per gallon, so almost half. I'm gonna do the math and put the price of gas as of right now in my hometown in Spain, put it here, just for the sake of comparison. I don't want to start a debate about how much we should tax gas or not. That's not the point. The point here is that from a photography point of view, going on a road trip like this one that I just did for 3 months is much, much more affordable here in the US than in Europe when it comes to gas. It is sinking in now that I'm not in the West anymore. It's pretty flat and featureless here. It is amazing just to see how different this country is east of the Rockies and west of the Rockies. Nebraska. Pretty big, open, vast. And another thing about Nebraska that I can tell you is that it's freezing here. And even though I'm wearing shorts because they are very comfortable for driving, I am freezing my ass right here. So I'm gonna go back to the car. Driving alone can get very boring when you drive for a long time, even more when you are faced with roads like the ones in Nebraska or Iowa, where they are just straight roads for more than 100 miles at times. Literally, I took a screenshot because there was this straight road just before getting to Omaha. I believe the interstate is just straight for like 120 miles, and yeah, it does really get boring. So if you're doing something like that, load your phone with a bunch of podcasts and music because you are gonna need it. but I finally made it to the hotel. All I want to do right now is to just lay down there and crash. My leg hurts a lot because Hairball doesn't have cruise control, so I have to hold the gas all the time for 8 hours today. But that would be a terrible idea. What I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna go downstairs to the treadmill and walk for a little bit because I didn't move today at all. Did I say I'm in Omaha, Nebraska? I think I did. I felt so much better after walking for a while on the treadmill. This road trip kind of destroyed every good habit that I used to have. I made a video about nutrition and exercise. I'm gonna link it there. Those habits were pretty much gone during the entirety of this road trip because I was focused on photography and photography only. I was trying to get out there every morning and getting back late in the evening, so I didn't have time to do any of the things that I was used to do. But that makes having good habits, when you can have them, like I can right now, I'm starting to build them back up one by one, little by little, even more important. That allowed me to go much farther than I could have just a couple years ago. Some of the hikes that I went on during this trip, I couldn't even imagine doing them a couple years ago. Even less doing them the way I did them this time around, that I was carrying this camera and recording a bunch of shots and a bunch of clips. Some hikes got almost doubled in distance and elevation gain because of all the walks that I had to do back and forth to retrieve the camera and to set it up farther. So having good habits when it comes to nutrition and exercise and having a good shape for when you go on a road trip, I believe it's really, really important. This is not your YouTuber fancy coffee, but it will work. It's 5:15. Gonna get ready. Today is gonna be the longest day, but I'm almost there. I'm almost back home. Well, that's something new. Now the car is complaining about the gas cap, but it's fine, it's tight. I think that's why the engine light is on too. There is some problem with that thing. Come on, Hairball, come on. Just 9 more hours, 600 miles. 9 hours, 600 miles, and that's it. So with the engine light on, with that new message on again, this was the moment when the Jeep vibe was the strongest. The Jeep vibe, as defined by my Instagram friend Brendan, is that feeling that you have when you get in the car and you feel like there is no way I'm gonna make it to my destination, but somehow you and the car manage to get there. So it was at that point when I was about to leave that parking lot in Omaha with 600 miles ahead of me, with the tape on the window, with the engine light on, with the message about the gas cap flashing in front of me, and hearing all those weird noises coming from the bottom of the car, that I was feeling like there is no way I'm gonna make it.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto West Dutch Frontage Road South. Frontage Road.
Illinois, one more state to go. I can smell the corn already. Alright, so I'm like a quarter of a mile away from home, but I just wanted to take a second here with Hairball along. It's been almost 3 months on the road, some, I don't know, 12,000 miles. We got to go to a lot of places, we got to see a lot of places. Yeah, Hairball behaved like a champ. Sure, it's kind of falling apart everywhere, but it still runs very good actually. It still handles pretty well, and it brakes very good too, and I guess that's what matters. And it got me back here in one piece. So I'm very grateful for the ride. I am very grateful for being able to do this. I cannot wait to go on another road trip. Hopefully with Hairball we're gonna get everything fixed, if the money makes sense. Hopefully it does. I don't know if future me will have anything to add. No, I don't think so. Alright then, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one from here, from Indiana.